Hello, Flosstube. Welcome to my channel. I'm Heather, the 20-Minute Stitcher. Today is Sunday, May 21st, 2023, and this is my Flosstube episode number 41. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy that you have chosen to spend some of your precious time here with me. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Always happy to have you back in my little corner of the Flosstube world. Today is going to be a shorter video, some real talk, life, And I do have some stitching, not a lot, but sometimes that's how it goes. So let's get in and out. So I mentioned real talk. So one of the reasons there's not a whole lot of stitching is I've been in a little bit of a slump, not just a stitching slump, but just kind of a life slump. I've had a case of the blahs, I guess you could say. I've just been sort of feeling a little overwhelmed by life in general, and it has led me to be kind of lazy and just kind of not motivated to do anything I don't have to do. No real reason for it. I think sometimes just it's hard being a single mom, and it's, as I've said before, I absolutely love my work. Apologies if you can hear cats thundering around upstairs. I've said before, I love my work, but it has been a little overwhelming lately, although we have a new member joining my team in 2 days, so that should help a lot. It's also the end of the school year, so the kids have been busy with concerts, softball season, things of that sort. So I think I just was feeling overwhelmed. And then when I finally was like, okay, it's time to stop being overwhelmed, my house was a disaster because I hadn't cleaned it, so then it was, anyway, all that to say, kind of mentally, I've been having a little bit of a down time. And I'm not going to overshare. I'm not going to provide details. Everything's fine, right? Nothing's wrong. But I also believe in being real. And social media gets slammed for only portraying the best parts of people's lives. I think it's getting better about that, but I am nothing if not real. So that's kind of one of the reasons why there's not a lot of stitching today. I also was sick for about 3 or 4 days, and so wasn't stitching for then either. So yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster the last few weeks or last couple of weeks. But fortunately, everyone's good, everyone's healthy, everyone's okay. Just some extreme highs and some extreme lows. So, but I think we're getting back on an even keel. So all that to say, a little less content than usual today, but that's okay. I want to stay on my every 2-week schedule. And, I try to keep the videos shorter anyway. I just try to have them shorter and more stitching rather than shorter and more talking and less stitching, but that's okay. So that's kind of my life update. I think really the only specific thing I'll share, because I'm a proud mama bear, my daughter's school had their annual awards ceremony, and she was one of 12 students in the whole school of about 750 students, I believe they're up to now, that won their school's top award. It's called the Living the Truth in Love Award, and she was one of the winners, and it's amazing. Proud mama bear. I totally sobbed when she told me. And then joked with her that she peaked as a sophomore because I don't think you can win it more than once. So, but it's basically a teacher and counselor and administrator nominated award, and then a committee of teachers, administrators, and counselors choose the winners. And it's really about, for the students who really best exemplify the ideals and the values of the school. And so yeah. So I wanted to share that proud mama bear moment. I really didn't have much to do with it other than, kind of laying that foundational groundwork when she was younger. I recognize she's at an age now where my influence is still important, but she's starting to forge her own path. But I'm super proud of the path she's forging. So wanted to share that. But otherwise, just a bunch of the same old work, life, busy. Softball season's over, but it was a good season. I don't remember what the record was in the end. I think it might have been right around 500. But the last few games of the season, I wish I could have had another week or two because, man, it was all coming together and it was awesome. Anyway, all right. Enough proud mama bear talk. Let's go ahead and get into the stitching. So I actually had an FFO for my last video that if you watch my last video, you know I was a bit of a hot mess. And now you know a little bit as to why, because I was kind of struggling a little bit. But I do have an FFO. I don't physically have it anymore because it has been gifted, but I will put a picture up on the screen. So this was the me designed stitch that I mentioned 2 videos ago for my professional association for the nominating committee that I served on, the Trust the Process stitch. So I finished it, I framed it. My mom actually helped me frame it because I was literally like getting ready to leave for the airport and left it for the last minute. But we gifted it, and now it's going to become something that gets passed down to the chair of that committee each year. Everyone loved it. I'm happy with how it turned out. I mean, it was super simple. It was just words, right? And then the logo of our professional association, which is a very simple logo, fortunately. So that is an FFO that I have for the year. So I think that's maybe my 4th finish of the year. I really have way too many whips. I feel like I have way too many whips because I'm not finishing stuff as frequently as I would like. So I say that, and then the next thing I have to share for you is a new start. So I had mentioned in my last video as well that I am participating in Mini Mania 2023. So Mania, MAYNIA, if you are new to Flosstube or cross stitch, is a sort of cross stitch challenge. The original version of Mania was a new start every day of the month. That just feels bonkers to me and overwhelming. So I don't know who started it, but someone out there started #MiniMania 2023. And that is where you pick one new start a week. And so several of us, May is the 5th month of the year. There are 5 Mondays in May. So several of us decided, okay, every Monday we're going to make a new start. 5 new starts seems a little more manageable. So I missed this week's Monday. So the 15th of May. That was the day that I was sick. I slept like 9 hours. I don't think I even realized it was Monday. So I didn't start. So I'm only going to have 4 new starts in May, and that's okay. But the Monday prior, I did start a project. It is called Life is Short. And I bought it off Etsy, but it doesn't seem like the Snarky Art Company is who I bought it off of in Etsy. And it's a charted version of, is it a quote? Is it a meme? I don't know, but I'm sure you've heard it, the tell someone you love them today because life is short, but shout it at them in German because life is also terrifying and confusing, which is kind of funny because I actually think German's a beautiful language, but I know lots of people think it's very harsh and very like angry sounding. So I'll just quickly put the pattern up. So it's just the words and then kind of some simple sampler bands at the top and bottom. And this will eventually be a gift for my daughter, who actually wanted me to change the word German to Dutch because she says Dutch is actually more guttural language. I don't know. But so I started this. I literally only worked on it on that Monday because, again, life and illness. But this is where I got at. That's horrible grammar. This is what I completed on my first day stitching. Just words. I mean, this will go fairly quickly. The pattern, as you saw, called for a red floss and a black floss. It called for DMC 310 and DMC 666. I decided to pull some of my fancy flosses. So I am stitching mine with Gentle Arts, Black Crow, and Ruby Slipper. And I have it in my fun little stitch bag that I got as part of my Tiger Lily Designs Keeper Club box. So that was my new start. Only worked on it one day. Don't know when I'll pick it back up again, but there it is. New start. So in terms of whips or works in progress, I only touched 2. They are both of them are my whip go calls for May that I am dangerously close to not meeting, which is a problem because I'm not great. Truth moment, I am not great at keeping goals I set for myself, but I am determined to keep my whip go goals this year. I don't know why it matters so much to me, but it does. So I have 2 whips that are part of whip go. I've worked on them both since my last video. The first one is New York Dreamer Designs Pumpkin Spice Everything Nice, and that is this pattern here. And as you might recall, if you watched my last video, December Heather clearly was delusional because my whip go goal for this pattern is to finish it, which is doable, but I really got to get off my duff and get it done, because I still have half of the pattern left to do, and it's May 21st. So this is, I still have everything. I have it folded up. So I'm stitching this one in hand. I'm using all the called for flosses, and this is being stitched on a 28 count. Yeah, a 28 count. I believe this is Portobello. I'll have to double check, but this is, so the last time I showed this, let me take the clips off and my needle minder. So the last time I showed this, I had, I believe, most of the word pumpkin and maybe this pumpkin over here done. So I have added quite a bit. I did work on this a lot. Sorry, my computer's trying to go to sleep on me, before I got sick. But so yeah, so I essentially have, there's another leaf that goes here, and I think another one over there, and that'll be basically the top half of it done. So there's still quite a lot left to do, but it does stitch fairly quickly when I sit and stitch on it. So yeah, so this is Pumpkin Spice Everything Nice. Moving along. My second whip go call is my Spring Dragon by Ingleside Imaginarium. And this was a pattern that I received in the, I forget the name of the box, but it was from a company called Needle and Note that does boxes, or did boxes. I don't know. They haven't released a new one in a year or more, so maybe they're not in business anymore. I don't know. But this is the pattern, a little bit of a glare. Spring Dragon. This is my first Ingleside Imaginarium pattern. I think he's gorgeous. And as I stated in my last video, it is a he. I don't care that he's pink. He proudly wears his pink, and his flowers. He's gorgeous and knows it. And I have, my whip go goal for this is to stitch on it for 7 days. I have stitched on it for 3 days, and this is the progress that I have made so far. So I am working on his left wing, and this is where I'm at. So over here is sort of his spine, and then this is his wing going out. And the last time I showed this to you, I had kind of this line here down. This is the page break here. It's a 2-page pattern, top and bottom. So this is the page break here. And when I'm stitching a paper pattern with multiple pages, I do tend to not bleed over pages unless, like I have, in this case, I had just a lot of floss left, and I didn't want to leave a hanging thread. So I did go on to the second page just to finish off this strand of floss, but otherwise he'll be top and then he'll be bottom. So the last time I showed him, I was here, and then I had sort of this done. I had kind of the top part of this wing filled in, and I had a little bit over here done. So in 2 additional, and that was only on 1 day of stitching. Well, and what I had stitched on previously, but he had a very puny tiny start. This was my birthday start in 2022. I think I stitched on it on my birthday, maybe one other day, and then he went in my Kits on Vacation box. So then I had stitched on him one day for Whipco, and now I've stitched on him 2 more. So I have filled in the rest of this wing, except I ran out of thread. I don't know if you can see. Some of these are only half crosses. So I'll have to go back and finish those. But I filled in the rest of this wing on this page, started some of the white floss over here. This fabric is kind of like a light lime green, but it's still hard to see the white on it. So I think the white is going to be one I'm going to have to go and fill in once I do kind of the other colors around it. I'm too worried I'm going to make a mistake with the white if I'm stitching it just on the fabric itself. And then I started in with the 762, the darker pink here. It's a little bit of a challenging pattern to follow because there are so many color changes. They're kind of big blocks, but as you can see, it's kind of banded, right, to get that beautiful dimension look on the pattern. And I'm terrified I'm going to make a counting mistake, which is kind of silly because at the same time, like this is also the kind of pattern where a small counting mistake, you can just fudge it and no one's going to know, right? But I think he's so beautiful that I really don't want to make mistakes. So anyway, so this is Spring Dragon. I suppose knowing it's a dragon, it's starting to look like a dragon. If you had no idea what it was, you'd be like, what is all this pink blob stuff? But that's Spring Dragon. And my little Calvin needle minder from Needle Attractions on Facebook. And the fabric is No, sorry. I was reading the fabric for the model, but that's not what was included in the kit. So this was, I believe, the color lime. I don't know. I will put it on the screen. Or how about I'll just look it up quickly. I can do that too. So those are that's all of the stitching that I have done in the last 2 weeks. Again, not much. So it is what it is. I do have some acquisitions. So I did order a few patterns from Top Knot Stitcher, which is my online needlework store of choice. And of course, I forgot to grab them before I started filming. So give me one moment. Okay, I am back. So as I said, I did order some patterns from Top Knot Stitcher, primarily because there is one new release from the Blue Flower that I am absolutely obsessed with. It has taken all of my self-restraint not to kit it up and start it right away. But, and then while I was there, I tossed in a couple of other patterns too. So the first one is Quirky Quaker Frog. So I have been watching Michelle Bendy stitch all of these little Quirky Quakers, and they're so stinking cute. Frogs are like a thing in my family, my mom and dad and me. So technically toads, but nobody seems to make toads. They make frogs. And so we just call them toads. So I did get Quirky Quaker Frog, super cute. I also picked up the, I guess next, number 5. So the May Snowman Collection series from Cottage Garden Samplings, the Scarecrow. I'm not stitching all of these, but I do get the emails when a new one is released. This is the only other one that I've purchased, although I almost purchased the Postman because he was super cute too with his big, whatever those big bicycles are called with the huge front wheels. But yes, I thought the Scarecrow was adorable. If you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know that I love autumn. Autumn is my favorite season. I love autumn patterns. I love the colors. I love the motifs, the feel of them. And this just felt, even though it's the May pattern, it just felt very autumnal to me. And so I grabbed him. And then I also got Stitching Squirrels because I love squirrels. There is a story of squirrels for me with a board that I used to serve on. And though the people I served on that board with are some of the most precious people to me in the world. And there's a whole thing about squirrels with them. And so squirrels have sort of special significance to me because of that. And their stitching So like two incredibly important parts of my world in one pattern. How could I not? So, and even though this is by the Blue Flower, and even though I am very tempted to kit this up and start it right away, this is not the one I was talking about. This is the one I was talking about. Happy Campers. And I mean, the first time I saw the picture, I was like, that will be mine. I have no idea when I will stitch it. She a big baby. She a big girl. She's 226 by 191. And I have so many other big patterns that I really should be working on. So I'm actually proud of myself that I have not kitted this up yet. But I mean, seriously, the squirrels having a picnic and the porcupine and the beaver making s'mores and like this little hummingbird here. And I mean, I love it. I love it so much. And I love the quote, which the quote is from, I'm guessing it's a poem. It just says, text excerpt from The World Voice by Bliss Carman. Love it. Love it. And I have seen on Instagram, is it the Camping Stitcher, I think, is starting a sal of this, a stitch along of this. I won't be joining in. I as much as I want to start this right now, I just can't. I really have to finish some other things first. But this will definitely, I will be starting this summer. I don't know when, but I will be starting this summer. But yeah. And the last set of acquisitions I have, I didn't bring them over here. I don't even know where they are right now. Oh, they're in my closet. For Mother's Day, my wonderful mother enabled me, because you may have, again, if you are a returning viewer, you've heard me say like, oh, I'm out of project bags, so I can't start any new projects. She bought me like 5 new project bags. So she's very enabling, but that's okay. And they're just the simple, not this exact bag, but this style of bag. So they're not any of the fancy fabric ones or vinyl front ones or like that, but they're great bags though. Sorry, Pistachio just came in and is being needy. So anyway, so that is my acquisitions for the last couple of weeks. And now I probably won't be acquiring anything new, in part because I have so many patterns right now. I'm not really feeling in a buying mood. Though I did buy the Clue box from Forbidden Fiber Company. I'm sure you saw it on Instagram. I don't think it's sold out yet. So it's a, okay, we're just going to ignore the cats in the background. It is a mystery box, but it is an Advent style mystery box. So I think it's 13 days. You'll open a new package each day, and along the way, you're trying to solve the mystery of who murdered Mr. Body. Clue is my favorite movie, or I have several favorite movies, but it is like one of my top 5 movies. I absolutely love it. I quote it all the time. People look at me like I'm weird, and I don't care because I absolutely love it. So when I saw that mystery box, I was like, done, sold. Do you see what I deal with? He just totally opened my closet. Why don't you get one of my project bags and bring it out here then? Dumb cat. Actually, smart cat. That's the problem. Anywho, so I did purchase that, though it won't arrive until, I don't even know, summer, August, I think, or something. Anywho, so that's an acquisition that I don't have yet. Last thing for today's video is plans. I really don't have any specific ones. We're going into the Memorial Day weekend. I clearly have a lot of work to do on my May Whip Go goals. I need to finish my pumpkin spice pattern, and I need 4 more days on Spring Dragon. So that's probably really all I'm going to be doing for the next week and a half or so until we hit June. And I'll be continuing to work on Hive Rules by Primrose Cottage Stitches because I am woefully behind on that as well. So hopefully I'll be kind of in a, I don't want to say better mood, because it's not like I've been in a bad mood, but I'll be in a more balanced state of mind, I guess is a good way to put it. I will feel a little bit more at peace and on top of things in my life. Because I went literally almost a whole week, maybe even a little over a whole week without stitching at all since my last video, and I missed it. In many ways, stitching is, meditative for me. I know for many of us it is. And so that was, I think, part of why I felt off, is I also wasn't stitching. So here's to all of us taking care of ourselves, doing what we need to do to have balance and peace in our lives, even if that means stepping away from things we love for a little bit in order to kind of just get ourselves in a better place to be able to appreciate and value those things that we love. So I'll leave it there. So again, like I said, somewhat short video. I do call myself the 20-minute stitcher for a reason. I do try to keep my videos around 20 minutes. And as always, thank you for joining me. I would love to know what you're stitching on, if you have any fun plans for the Memorial Day weekend, if you're here in the United States, or any big plans for the summer in general, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. And if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, what you got going on in the month of June, right? Or if there are any big sales that you are participating in right now, or want to hop in on stitching any of the patterns that I've shared today with me, let me know. Or really whatever you feel like dropping in the comments. I always answer all of my comments. I might be a little slow on them sometimes, but I do answer every single comment. I really do value the time you choose to spend with me and the time you choose to leave a comment. So I definitely want to respect that time by giving you the courtesy of a reply back. Plus, that's part of this community, right? So happy to see you, all my stitchy friends. I hope that you are all well. Take care of each other. Hug your loved ones. Happy stitching until next time we talk. Bye-bye.